the first stage, the solid stage, taking place at T0, which will be followed by the ignition of the 4 solid strap-ons at 40.46 seconds. So you can see the lift-off. The vehicle has lifted off on the launch pad. Vehicle majestically going through its flight. We are at 22 seconds into the flight.
रात्रि के अंधकार को चीरता हुआ हमारा रॉकेट अपने तक अग्रसर है और कुछ ही देर में हम इलेक्ट्रिक स्टार्टर्स वेट कर रहे हैं.
Airlift upon is separated in 92 seconds, and the altitude is roughly around 38.9 kilometers. And we are into 3 minutes, 2 seconds into the flight, so 180 seconds. As has been just indicated by my colleague, the second stage is a liquid stage with 42 tons of propellant, and it burns for almost 150 seconds. And at the end of the second stage burnout, we will have almost 5.3 kilometer velocity imparted to the launcher, and then the vehicle would have reached an altitude of 128 kilometers. The time now is 3 minutes, and the heat shield has been separated. Announcement, second stage performance normal, and what you are seeing on your screen is primarily the ground trace. The ground trace is the path along which the vehicle is flying from the launch base. On your leftmost corner, you can see a red dot from where the vehicle liftoff has happened, and the red line is the one which depicts the pre-flight. Before the launch, we predict how the launcher has to travel, and the green plot on that is the one indication of where the vehicle is exactly moving. And with a spacecraft in an orbit of around 284 by 20,650, we require 9.5 to almost 10 kilometer velocity that has to be imparted. Right now, almost 60% of the velocity has been given by the first stage, second stage, and PS3 has gone out, and there is a long post of almost 296 seconds, or I would say roughly around 300 seconds before the fourth stage is ignited. The announcement, PS3 stage, the third stage, which was going as an integral with the upper stage, the fourth stage has been separated, because the third stage being a solid stage, after its tail-off is fully diminished, the third stage gets separated. Now the vehicle that is actually flying is the fourth stage, the upper stage along with the spacecraft. The event that we await, that will get flashed on the screen, will be the ignition of the fourth stage, which is very vital for the mission. And the fourth stage being a liquid stage with the 2.5 tons of propellant, will burn for almost 513 seconds, wherein it will impart the remaining velocity as 2.5. So just now we have the announcement, the fourth stage, the very important stage for the launcher, is ignited at 673 seconds. Now the stage will burn for almost 513 seconds. The pitch is almost 215 kilometers, the approach is almost 4,276. Now what will happen in the subsequent remaining phase of flight over the period of almost say 200 seconds, you will find the perigee. The perigee, which is around 217 presently, will be slowly raised to an altitude of around 284, and the remaining velocity will be imparted in building up the apogee point. Apogee point is basically the farthest point from the Earth. The vehicle right now is in orbit, which is showing an orbit of almost 220 by 5,000 kilometers. What we expect is 284 by 20,000, which will happen shortly in the remaining 100 to 150 seconds burn time. Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System constellation, as we have already mentioned, we plan to launch 7 satellites, out of which 4 satellites will be in the geosynchronous orbit. Geosynchronous orbit is primarily the orbit with an altitude of perigee and apogee of around 36,000 kilometers, with an inclined inclination around 27-29. And the remaining 3 satellites will be put in a geostationary orbit, which again will have an altitude of around 36,000 kilometers circular, but its orbital plane will be inclined at 0-degree inclination to the equator. So we will have primarily 7 satellites, 4 satellites in geosynchronous orbit and 3 in geostationary orbit. The satellite that is launched today, IRNSS-1 is the one which will be placed in a geosynchronous orbit. Just a quick statistics of this, the liftoff mass of the spacecraft is around 1400 plus, out of which 600 kg plus is the dry mass, which means almost 800 kg of propellant is loaded into the spacecraft. and the overall spacecraft dimension is roughly around 1.5 by 1.5 meter and a height equal. And just now we heard PS4 shutoff command has been issued at 11:79 seconds. Ingestion conditions have been very precisely achieved here, 284 by 20,631 as against 284 by 20,650. A very precise injection indeed. And in another 37 seconds we will have the announcement of the IRNSS-1 satellite separation in the precise orbit. And IRNSS satellite 1A satellite has been separated in a very precise orbit of 283 by 20,650 kilometers. Excellent performance.
IRNSS-1 mission has been successfully accomplished. वैज्ञानिकों की खुशी देखते ही बन रही है. आप देख सकते हैं स्क्रीन पर वैज्ञानिक एक दूसरे को बधाई देते हुए हमारे चेयरमैन मिशन डायरेक्टर को बधाई दे रहे हैं. VSSC डायरेक्टर